G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. By the way, guys, right now in Australia, it is fuming hot. Like, I'm talking like 85, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So, like my 30, 32, 33. It is stinking hot. So I didn't get a chance to yesterday to do the day 3 live recap. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on pretty much what I think about the whole free agent period in the last 3 days. I honestly don't think it's that bad. I think the moves have been, pretty much like Steeler-like. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. But there's something also I want to cover today too in day 3. So day 3, we're going to cover the recap of the players who's left, the players who have joined, and also we're going to discuss near the end, is Bud Dupree next? Is he next to join the Steelers in day 4 or 5 coming up in this free agent period, right? But I will be reading off, I'm reading off Spot Track, so going to go through the Steelers departees who was left, right? Of course, we knew that Cameron Sutton's gone. Cameron Sutton left. He's with the Lions. That's kind of like old news now, being 2 days. But that's okay, right? He went and got his money. It does suck. I was a huge fan of Sutton. I think he's a good corner. I think he played well for the Steelers. I like his physicality. I just like the way that he played and how he conducted himself as a Steeler. So, you know what? And he's one of ours, right? Drafted by us. One of ours. He's now a Detroit Lion, right? Another departee was Robert Spillane. This one kind of caught me off guard. I was like, Robert Spillane, I thought the Steelers liked him. He played some good snaps near the end of his Steelers career versus the Browns, versus the Ravens. I think he played 100% snaps in both games. I thought he was going to be that maybe starter next to Miles Jack / rotational piece with Mark Robinson, right? So he goes to Las Vegas. Those two players. On the flip side, though, to cover those two players, we got Patrick Peterson, Hall of Famer Patrick Peterson the first day. You had the really bad news of Cameron Sutton, and then you got Patrick Peterson. And I don't think it's that bad either. The guy had 5 interceptions last year. He's playing some good football. He's confident on the mic. He believes in himself. And I believe he can be a big part to this Steelers defense. Look out for Patrick Peterson this year in 2023. It's going to be a lot of fun. And whatever number he chooses, I don't think he's going to choose 7 or be allowed to have 7. Whatever number he has, look out for Peterson and Minka to work together. They're going down the list too, right? Over the last few days, we then got, DeMonte Kazi was next. Kazi, also one of my favorites, and a big reason why the Steelers were losing the first few games. Everyone talks about TJ Watt going down with injuries, but Kazi was playing well in preseason, and then he got injured and missed like 5, 6, 7, 8 games at the start of the season, came back to rally after the bye, right? So he's a big piece too. They signed him to a 2-year deal. I think that's fantastic for Kazi to be around for 2 years, also working with Minka, working with Peterson, and working with, hopefully, the Steelers signing a cornerback at 17. I keep saying that. That's the way I think they're going to go. I reckon they're going to go peasy, put it that way. Now, you had a guard come over from the Jets, right? And also he was on the Philadelphia team, and Andy Weidl knew, look at the work that he did with Philadelphia. Nate Herbig. I have no idea about this guy. I have absolutely no idea. But he's 24 years old. He plays guard. Obviously, I don't think he's going to play right guard. I think that's James Daniels' spot. But I believe he'll be in competition with Kevin Dotson. That's a pretty good move too. He's 6'4", 340 pounds. He's a massive guy. And I've seen some footage with him blocking defenders downfield, open up holes. You get that guy to run lanes for Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, and we have something going on. Right? And it brings me to my last guy, which was in day 3 yesterday, Cole Holcomb. I think is how you pronounce his name, right? Linebacker, 26, Washington. Now, this guy has had injuries before. He's still got to pass his physical. But if he does, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to sign him for a 3-year deal, which I think is fantastic as well. You have a hole there. Obviously, by signing this player, Devin Bush isn't going to be back with the Steelers. It's just not going to happen. Unless they were to release Miles Jack, then maybe. But it's not going to happen. This signing tells me that Devin Bush is on the outside looking in. They're not going to sign him back. He should be gone. It is Cole Holcomb's time to see what he can do. And he pretty much replaces Robert Spillane in that point. He was a captain. He was a captain in Washington. He wore the green dot. The guy's physical. He can tackle. He runs down into lanes. He takes on defenders head on. I feel like he's a football player, and he's got a nice mullet. A dude with a mullet like that and shaved sides, you don't mess with him. So that's our recap, right? That is our recap for all those three. Now, I want to, before I get into the Bud stuff, before I get into the Bud Dupree, here's another point. Will the Steelers sign Terrell Edmunds? That's been one key thing, I think, from the very start of the free agent period, is will the Steelers sign Edmunds? I hope they do. I hope they find a deal to get Edmunds back on the team that involves now Patrick Peterson, Kazi, all these dudes, man, all these guys on defense can be a top 10 and really top five defense, right? They can be insane. I hope they sign Edwards. That's what I want to say, right? Also, I wanted to bring into another point, right? We talked about the notion of a backup quarterback. Kenny Pickett is the guy, 110%. Omar Khan's been on record saying that Trubisky will be here for a very long time, and that's meant to be our backup quarterback. Now, could they cut Trubisky and save money? Sure, they could definitely do that, right? I still think that Mason Rudolph will be on the out. I don't think he's coming back to sign. But I wanted to go around the league and find out where some quarterbacks are going before I get into my Bud Dupree stuff. Derek Carr was obviously signed to New Orleans. Jimmy went to Vegas. Tyler Heineke went to Atlanta. Andy Dalton went to Carolina. Stidham went to Denver. Backup. Jacoby Brissett has apparently signed a one-year deal with Cleveland. That's what I'm reading here. If that is not correct, let me know in the comments below. But according to Spot Track, Jacoby Brissett has signed a one-year deal with Cleveland. Let me know if that's false news. Mike White has signed with Miami. Case Keenum in Houston. Philip Walker gets a chance with Chicago to back up their fields, right? Sam Darnold gets another chance also probably to back up Lance in San Fran. Baker Mayfield signed to Tampa Bay. Nick Mullins to Minnesota. He signed there again. Kyle Allen went from Houston to Buffalo. Now, if they were to release Mitchell Trubisky, who's really left? Who's the chance that you can kind of get cheap and maybe bring in at that quarterback position? Now, some of the names I will name, there's probably no way they're going to come over, but there's still free agent quarterbacks this year in 2023. You got Wentz, Matt Ryan. For some reason, Tom Brady's still there. Marcus Mariota, Terry Bridgewater, of course, Mason Rudolph, Joe Flacco, Blaine Gabbert, Chase Daniel, right? The list goes on and on and on. Jeff Driscoll, Peterman. Here's the thing. Gardner Minshew. I wouldn't mind seeing Gardner Minshew in a Steeler uniform. I think that'd be kind of crazy. Now, here's the thing, though. Omar Khan was on record saying it's going to be, we want him here for a long time. Could they restructure Trubisky? They could restructure him, make his money longer and go for 3 or 4 years, and he could be the backup behind Kenny Pickett. But it has to be a point, right? You got to know your role and know where to sit. Trubisky, if he's back here, will be backup. There's no way that he goes number one. There's no competition. If I see one news site saying, will there be a competition at quarterback number one? No, they're just doing that for clicks. It's Kenny Pickett's team. So whatever happens there is it is what it is. But right now it's Trubisky, and I don't know if they're going to cut him or not. It would be funny if tomorrow they cut him as I wake up. Anyways, last point. If we sign Edmunds, is there a chance in day 4 that Bud Dupree comes back to the Steelers? Is that a chance? Right? With all these moves going on, they are getting, there are a lot of old heads like Peterson coming back. A lot of guys have been playing the league for a few years. Could they get him cheaper at that position to provide some edge depth? Now, if I wake up tomorrow morning, I see this one, I'm going to be like, man, I don't mind it. Some Steelers fans will be like, you know what? We don't need Bud Dupree. We don't want him. He's too old, blah, blah, blah. His time's up, whatever, But I like it. If he does come back, I think it'd be fantastic. So that's for me. I wouldn't mind seeing Bud Dupree back in the black and gold, but let me know in the comments below. Also, by the way, I keep seeing this notion, come on, Steelers, do something. Come on, Steelers, do something. What are you doing? They are doing things. They've signed 5 players, and two other players have been let go. They're not super flashy players, but they're doing things, and this is the way the Steelers do things and have done for a very long time. They don't go out there and send their house to get Hargraves. They don't go out there and send millions of dollars to get Ramsey. They go out there and make the right choices at the right time to bring the players in so this team stays competitive every single year. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out Steelers Nation Australia. That was a fun one. That was day 3 recap. And to end it, will Bud Dupree be a Pittsburgh Steeler in 2023? I'll see you guys